Hello, and welcome to Biblical Hebrew, an introductory course in the Biblical Hebrew language for the fall 2022 academic year. My name is Brennan Breed. I am an associate professor of Old Testament at Columbia Theological Seminary. I'm here in my living room in Decatur, Georgia, just right down the street from where Columbia is, and I'm making this video for two different sections of the same class. So, just so you all know, I'm teaching a Biblical Hebrew class this fall. If you're watching this, you're in the class, but there's two sections of it. There's an online section and an in-person section. This video, I'm making it for both of you, both sections of this class, the in-person and the online, simply because I see it as the same class. That is to say, you all are going to have the ability to interact with each other, to engage each other in both precepts and in office hours times, and some of you in the online class may decide to show up to classes in person every now and again, and part of this is because we'll be on very similar schedules. So there's a syllabus that is specifically designed for the online class. You'll find that in the Moodle course that is set up for the online section. And there's a syllabus that is specific to the in-person class, and you'll find that on the Moodle course for the in-person class. And if you're in the in-person class, you'll be set up with that one. You'll just see that on your Moodle page. Don't worry, you don't have to find that. But whichever one you registered for. So just so you know, it's B505. The B means Biblical Area Class. B505. A is the in-person class, B505B is the online class. So if you happen to be in the wrong one, or the one that you didn't expect to be in, you can go ahead and contact the registrar, Mike Medford, if you need to change sections, or if you just need to get your Moodle fixed and be put in a different section of Moodle or something, then Jeff Vaughn is the person that you can contact, and he'll be able to take care of that very quickly. So all that you know right now is that I'm your professor and that you're in one of these two different sections. But the way that this class is going to work, if you're in the online section, then take a look at the Moodle course, and you'll see kind of a flow or a rhythm to the class. And this is going to be the same. If you're in the in-person class, there'll be a very similar rhythm or flow. That is, at the beginning of the week, the first couple of weeks are a little bit different. We'll have to learn the alphabet and learn the vowels and things. But starting really with week 3 and week 4, all the way to the end of the semester, we're going to have this very specific rhythm. That's that at the beginning of the week, we're going to have a vocabulary quiz. We're going to learn some Hebrew words, and then we'll be quizzed on them so that we can know them. And at the end of the week, we're going to have a grammar quiz. So beginning of the week is for quizzing our vocabulary, and the end of the week is for quizzing our grammar. That is kind of rules of the language, but also our translation skills. And in between that, we'll have some opportunities to exercise our skills. We'll be able to do some exercises, some workbook exercises, and some translation exercises and things like that. And we'll have what's called precepts. Precepts are small group times that are set aside for you to practice and ask questions. And then there's what we call plenary. Plenary is kind of like the big group where I'm usually teaching some big ideas and trying to explain them as best I can. So there's big group explaining time, and then there's small group discussion time. And this is going to work a little bit differently for the in-person and the online class. If you're in the online class, I've recorded all of these presentations where I walk through basically a PowerPoint, and I show you these language, like some words and how to say these letters and things and some of the rules of the language, and I give lots of examples. If you're in the in-person class, I'm going to do this in person. We're going to have class on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday in the in-person section, 8:45 to 9:45. If you're in the online class, those recordings are just up there and you can watch them anytime you want. But you should watch them in order and watch them during the weeks that I have put them on the Moodle page. And those dates are numbered and everything. You know, they're in order. They're on the Moodle page in the right sequence. But so watch those videos. If you're in the in-person class, then you show up and I'll be teaching similar content. So that is, if you miss a class in the in-person class, you can watch the video presentation. If you want to catch something again, if I went over something in class, you say, what happened there? You can always catch the video presentation where I'm talking about the very same things, the same kind of chapters in the book that we're going over, the same translation exercises. So that is to say, you can also contact people who are friends in the other section. Online people can talk to in-person people can talk to online people, and you'll be studying roughly the same things on the same week. When I say roughly, I mean like the different days might be, in the online class, it's asynchronous. So you can do these things at your own pace, but you just have to do some things on Monday and some things on Friday. In between, the time is up to you. If you're in the in-person class, there are particular days where we'll be meeting in class and doing particular lessons. So some of you might begin the semester and say, hey, the online class looks really fun and it's great to schedule my own time, but also the in-person class is going to give you a little bit more of a let's say personal accountability. I'm going to stare you in the eyes and ask you questions and things like that. For some people, they don't like that, but a lot of people do, and for a lot of people, it's a way to help them. So if you want to switch sections, if the first week starts and you say, hey, I need to kind of switch this around, please feel free to contact me, and I'll put you in touch with the registrar, and we can figure out what's best for you. So the things you need for this class: number one, the Moodle page is going to be really helpful. Just explore that page. There's some great introductory videos. There's a little video that says like 7 tips for learning Hebrew. You can start to look at the videos on the alphabet. Learning the Hebrew alphabet is unusual because it's a different alphabet for anyone, no matter what language you grew up speaking. I'm sure you didn't grow up with the Hebrew alphabet, so it's going to be a new thing. But there's other resources as well that you'll need to buy and have for class, and that's Learning Biblical Hebrew. This is our textbook by Carl Kutz and Rebecca Josberger. And this is just a standard kind of textbook, but it's made for Biblical Hebrew. And so I'll have readings from this book for every day of the class. Or every week of the class if you're in the online sections. Those are in the syllabus, the different readings. And then there's a book that comes along with it, or you have to order it separately, I guess, but they're sometimes bundled. And that's the Learning Biblical Hebrew workbook. So this is the textbook and this is the workbook, and both of them are required. Some of the workbook stuff I've put online, but not all of it is able to be put online. But there's, at the beginning of this book, there's some exercises. So like exercise 4A, and then if you keep going in the book, you'll find some translation practices. And the reason that we start really on page 79 of the workbook, and it's the graded Joseph Reader. And so what you do is you actually get some vocabulary here that you can help yourself read these texts, but then it just starts by giving you some Hebrew, and you start reading Hebrew a couple weeks into the class. It's difficult, but it's great because the class is built for you to be able to read the Joseph story. And we're going to read the Joseph story from Genesis. You're not going to read every word of it necessarily. If you work hard at it, you'll read every word of it, but you don't have to read every word of it. But we've picked out some important texts in the story that'll help you kind of keep pace and also get to some of the most important theological moments in the story and translate those from original Hebrew, and you'll be able to do that by the end of the semester. So this is why I picked this textbook and this workbook. Every textbook has its weaknesses, and this course is a semester-long course. These textbooks, all Hebrew textbooks, are designed to be for a year-long course. I don't know many places that teach it in a semester, but that's what we do, and we've always done it here. We've done it here since well before I showed up. That's the task I've been given. So I figured out a way to kind of condense this and cut out some material we don't necessarily need to learn and push some stuff to next semester in your exegesis classes. An exegesis class just means reading biblical Hebrew closely and carefully and interpreting it. So some of the grammar stuff we'll get to in second semester, but most of Hebrew we will actually cover by the end of this semester. So by December, the end of December, you'll be able to read a bunch of the Hebrew Bible. So Brown Driver Briggs is another recommended textbook. So this is basically our dictionary, and I'll say that you can use this on in kind of a when you're translating. You'll be able to use this on the final and things. You can't use just anything on the final, like an English Bible you couldn't use because it'll be translating some Bible. That's the job. The task for the class is to teach you how to use Hebrew. But this dictionary comes in super handy. It's also it's kind of old, as many dictionaries of ancient languages are, but it's super useful, and you can use it as a concordance, and it's got all sorts of tools in it. But it's also written in a way that you need some help to figure it out. So there's a whole lesson I've got on how to use this thing a few weeks into the class. So if you get it and we're not using it right away, it's because we'll get to it. Don't worry. And then I've also said that you can get a Hebrew Bible. There's lots of different versions of them out there. If you have a question about which Hebrew Bible to get, please just send me an email and ask, is this a good one? But I'll just say we're not going to get to that as quickly. You'll need that for your exegesis class next semester, whichever one you choose to take. We'll talk more about exegesis as we go on the course, and we'll talk more about what classes next semester will be like. Don't worry about any of that stuff yet. Okay, so just so you know, this is our introductory kind of video. We have like a little introductory class. I'm going to go over the same stuff in the in-person class, but this is the time in the online class for me to go over these things. If you have questions about how this stuff works, please just let me know. Send me an email. But one thing we have to do for the online class pretty much right away is you have to fill out a little questionnaire and let me know which times of the week you are most available for these precepts. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to come to these precepts if you're in the online class. The reason is it's an asynchronous class. It's designed for you to show up whenever you want and do this on your own time. So I actually can't require you to show up to a certain time on Zoom or something. However, this is learning a language. It's learning an ancient language. It's learning an ancient language in a different script that you've never seen before. Or if you've seen it, you've seen like a couple letters and you don't know how to read it, right? You can use some help. I promise you can use some help. So in addition to doing this kind of work on your own, we have some preceptors, that is some students who have taken Hebrew in years previous who have signed up to help teach the class. And they will be, for the online class, on Zoom, and there will be different times of the week that they can show up and you can join them, right? So we want to put those times at times where the majority of people in the class may be able to sometimes connect with them. And if you say, hey, look, every Monday night I can get on here and be on Zoom, then we'll try to make that a priority. If a lot of people say that that's a good time for them, we'll try to make a priority to be able to make sure that, 7 at night is a good time, or 8 in the morning is a good time. We'll try to kind of put a few different slots in so that at least one time a week you'll be able to join in. There will also be an office hours time where I am available on Zoom, and that'll be noon on Fridays. I know this is not a great time for everybody, but it's trying to make it so that people who are working might be able to have a break on Friday at lunchtime or something. They might be able to join in for some of it. If that time is terrible and no one can make it, then we'll renegotiate a time. So let me know if that just doesn't work for you. So people in the in-person class are welcome to join the Zoom sessions for the office hours. So everyone can kind of interact during that time on Fridays at noon. And I'll look forward to seeing somebody there. You can ask questions. You can just chat. I can get to know you. But you can ask questions about the Bible that are about Hebrew sort of, but aren't really about what we're doing in class. That's fine too. So you can feel free to just share with each other too about your experiences being in Hebrew. There'll be 2 preceptors for the online section, and there'll be 2 preceptors for the in-person section. They're all wonderful folks. They all did excellent in their Hebrew classes. For our online section, we have Dana Abaguzala, who is wonderful and has so much energy and liveliness, and you're gonna love Dana. And then also Bawul Kim, and Bawul is doing his THM, his Master of Theology degree, which is a degree you get after an MDiv. And so Bawul took Hebrew a while ago in his MDiv program, retook it last year, so he's actually gone through it twice. Dana has taught Hebrew last year as well and took Hebrew 2 years ago. The first part of the first online class here at Columbia in Hebrew. So all to say that they've got a lot of experience and will be able to help you all through this in the online group. For the in-person group, we've got 2 wonderful scholars of Hebrew, both of which graduated from the class. Well, they're still in seminary, but they finished Hebrew last fall, and that's O.J. Flowers and Nicole Jascoot. And both of them are wonderful folks, very kind and nurturing folks who'll be able to help you all in the in-person class. And so in the in-person class, we'll divide you up into different groups, and you'll have different times to meet. You'll meet in precepts starting in the 3rd week. You'll meet on Tuesdays and Fridays from 8:45 to 9:45. And on Mondays and Thursdays in the in-person class, I'll be teaching new material. So I teach new material on Mondays and Thursdays. Tuesdays and Fridays, people get to practice. With the online class, it'll be kind of up to you when you learn the new material during the week, but there'll be different times of the week that you can jump on with preceptors and try to get a sense for how to use the material, right? You can get to practice. So that's the basic idea. There's 10 vocabulary quizzes. As I said, those will take place on Monday, but not for the first couple weeks. We got to get a sense for the language first, but I'll let you know about those in advance. And we'll do 10 grammar quizzes on Fridays. Again, that'll take a little while, but the first grammar quiz is going to be the alphabet, just writing the alphabet and figuring out how to use the alphabet. So those are all, that's your first priority, is learn the alphabet. So there's a video for that for the online class, in-person class. You can start looking at the video early, but I'll be teaching it in class our first day on September 6th. We'll start on that. Okay, there's plenty more to talk about, but why don't I let you all take a look at the site, check out how this all works, take a look at the syllabus. All the information in the syllabus is in some way negotiable. If everyone hates something on there or hates something that we're doing, we can figure out a different way to do it. But please just feel free to ask questions and talk to me about it. And I look forward to meeting all of you. If you're in the online section, please fill out that little hello, how are you kind of introductory thing. Just film a little video of yourself. There's instructions in that little forum about how to do that, just so that we can all get to know each other. And this is my little get to know you video where I'm going to say, hi, my name's Brennan, and I'm so glad that you're taking Hebrew. And I'll say it in Hebrew, actually. I'll say, Baruchim habaim le'ivrit. Baruchim, which means welcome, or actually means blessed, really, like being blessed, but it's kind of a way to say welcome. And then habaim means like coming in, so a blessed coming in, or that's a way to say welcome, a blessed coming in. Le'ivrit, to Hebrew. So welcome to Hebrew, or a blessed entrance to the Hebrew class. All right, well, I'm excited for the year, and blessings on all of you in your studies, and may God be with you in all that you do. Amen.